Brianna Bilbray.
Okay. I really hate public speaking. I'm like family members. I'm not a good politician or good at public speaking. All right, my name's Brianna Bilbray. I'm 24, a recent graduate at the University of San Diego. Got my degree in accounting. Work with a CPA, and I'm trying to get my CPA certificate, hopefully. In January 12th, to be exact, I got diagnosed with melanoma. Came to find a very deep melanoma. I come to find out that I'm stage 3 out of 4, got into my lymph nodes. I had to have many surgeries, multiple, I think like 4 or 5. And then I started chemo about 3 months ago. I have my last one, hopefully tomorrow. I've been on and off paying attention to what's going on, but I read in an article a quote from Mr. Spriggs saying that chemo patients don't have to go that far to get the medicine that they would need. Reading that comment, I can tell, excuse me. I'm sorry. Reading that comment, I can tell Mr. Spriggs really doesn't understand how terrible chemo makes you feel. The words nausea and fatigue are really pretty words for what they actually mean. Fatigue, tired is an understatement from what you feel. Mr. Spriggs, you feel like you just want to die. I didn't even want to breathe. I was so tired. You don't want to get in a car and have to drive across the county to get the medicine to make you feel better. Nausea, I have about $200 worth of these nausea pills. They're the best of the best. You can call they're Zofran, Amend. I don't know how to say the C word one, but they aren't worth a lick. They don't do anything. And one dose of medicinal marijuana will make me fine for the entire day. Anyway, you have no idea. It's like the difference between night and day for chemo patients. I guess what I'm ultimately trying to say is you need to realize what you're doing. By banning dispensaries, you are not punishing the kids who find a way to get their hands on the medical cards. They can drive across the county to find what they want, if not get it from the drug cartels here in town. You're punishing us, the ones who need it. Not only are you infringing on my right as a California resident to obtain the medicine that I need, but you're punishing me by making it more difficult to get the one thing to relieve me from one of the worst feelings imaginable. I just want you all to keep this in mind if and when you vote again. Thank you.
Thank you. Mike Dennison, is he returned? In that case, Marcus Boyd. And you have time donated by Tracy Rivera.
Thank you for having the courage to come out, Ms. Bilbray. Ms. Bilbray's talk moved me because I had, unfortunately, 4 cancer patients come to my office since your vote, and they all made me cry at my desk. Good evening, council members, Mr. Mayor, city staff. My name is Marcus Boyd, 1233 Palm Avenue. I own and operate a successful business here in Imperial Beach, and I am the vice chair of the San Diego chapter of Americans for Safe Access, the nation's largest medical cannabis patients' rights advocacy group, which holds monthly meetings right here in Imperial Beach at my office. Tonight, I am here to share with you my sincere disappointment with the perversion of the political process which I have witnessed over the last 2 years on this issue. Rather than upholding the will of the voters and protecting the most vulnerable in your community, those who are injured, sick, and dying, you have chose to ignore their pleas and have trampled all over their rights. Cancer patients on life support systems should not have to submit themselves to the ridicule and intimidation that they were the brunt of at the last council meeting. At the last meeting, this council based their decision for overturning state law on biased-driven propaganda presented by the county sheriffs rather than actual facts and findings that were presented that night, entered into your staff report, and published in the Imperial Beach Patch. Do you not see that you are reinforcing an atmosphere of fear and discrimination within your own constituency? If you take this final vote tonight, you will be attempting to overturn state law and will be in direct violation of it. Undermining the will of California voters has consequences. At the last council meeting on this issue, when patients pled with you not to break the law, you ridiculed them and attempted to alienate them from the political process. You had a large contingency of county sheriffs lined up outside, intimidating every patient that walked through the door. And to top it off, the deputies took out their cameras and began snapping pictures of the patients. Is this how you treat your constituents? That take their time out of their day, of their busy schedules, and come out here and to participate in the democratic process. In the beginning of this process, the council recognized that politics, not facts, were to guide you through this land use issue. And at that time, council members, and you, Mr. Mayor, promised to handle this as a strictly land use issue. In fact, I specifically recall you instructed the staff to keep politics out of the process. You have not kept your promise. You have allowed the bias, reefer madness propaganda to drive your decisions rather than facts and findings. Mayor Janney, the very politics that were to be excluded from this process have taken complete control of it. Even after you have read the proposed ban yourself, you were understandably shocked and appalled when you discovered the ban was so overreaching and intrusive. Councilmember Bragg, I really do appreciate you letting me know at the last meeting where in the process we lost our friendship. By the way, did you hear the sheriff's expert tell you that holistic healers and not doctors are issuing medical marijuana recommendations? Now tell me, how can I apologize for interrupting conversations at the exact time that you are being misled by someone you're placing blind trust in? There are no holistic healers issuing recommendations. In fact, only medical doctors and osteopathic physicians are allowed to recommend cannabis. I've given you in your pack an example of a recommendation issued by the local urgent care doctor in Imperial Beach, and I've let him know that you called him a quack. And Councilmember King, I gotta bring to your attention the fact that you made firm statements supporting safe access for patients during this process to the extent of actually putting a motion on the floor to move forward with an ordinance for safe access. What happened? You seem to have completely changed your position after the closed-door session meetings council had on this issue. By the way, can anybody tell me why the public wasn't notified of those meetings? Don't worry. I know you're not going to answer me. You don't have to. I'll be sure to remind and explain to the voters for you. Councilmember Spriggs, I'm surprised you, of all people, allowed anyone to pollute your thoughts on this issue with misinformation. With your background, you should have responded to the insinuations and generalizations of qualified patients. You are a chancellor at UCSD Medical Center, the very same medical center that right after medical marijuana laws were enacted in California was contracted by the state of California to study only harm-related issues with the use of marijuana as a pharmaceutical. And as you know and can testify with authority to the other council members, no harm was found. In fact, isn't it true that major benefits were found? I believe Dr. Grant's report, specifically on MS spasticity, states that no medication available on the current market for muscle spasticity helps like smoked cannabis. Council, the community at large elected all of you to represent them. This is not the case on this issue. If you vote to approve the ban tonight, you will be doing so against the will of the voters of your own constituents who you purport to represent. Although you may think you are putting this issue to rest tonight, I can assure you by taking these steps, you are guaranteeing that this issue will stay in front and center leading right up to 2012. Dear council members, it is not too late to change course. I urge you to table this vote tonight, give the facts and findings about this land use issue a fair and balanced review. The sick and dying patients deserve at least that from you. Thank you for listening.